everybody, welcome back to the Midnight Bait Body channel. In this video, the Golden Nugget Trans Am is getting a roof rack and some racing tires in preparation for the 1,000 kilometer BC Dragit event. Hey guys, so we're back on the Trans Am. I didn't think I'd be making another video on this car before the actual event. If you've watched the first few, I am taking this 78 Trans Am 404 speed on a 1,000 kilometer drag and drive event next month. So it's 1,000 kilometers through British Columbia, 5 different racetracks or airstrips where we drag race and drive, no support vehicles. We have to carry everything we need on our car. So, on this video, we're going to set up a roof rack. So what I've got is the roof rack pieces that a good buddy of mine had on his van. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that one's got a little piece of rubber in there. I know one of these fit in there better. So yeah, anyway, you see the idea. They're going to fit on the drip rails. And then I've got a piece of 1-inch conduit pipe that I found out in my lean-to in my junk pile. And then I've got a nice fancy aluminum roof rack that another buddy actually gave me, which was, how cool is that? So you might kind of pick up here that this is all super low budget. I'm an average working stiff with 2 kids in university, so there isn't a whole bunch of money to throw around on shiny new stuff, but hey, I make stuff work. So, let's get started figuring out how we're gonna make this roof rack. So this part's obviously pretty straightforward. We're gonna be putting these brackets that kind of stick into the drip rail, hook around the outside of the drip rail. I wouldn't be putting these on a good car. I think there's a chance that the inside bit of metal there is going to dent the roof a little bit. I don't really care on this car. If I do restore it one day, a couple little dents are not a big deal. Yeah, just not that worried about it. So I'm going to get these pieces kind of sitting in place. And we're going to take some rough measurements and cut that cross pipe, see what we can do there. Okay, so I put these first 2 mounts on there. Off camera, I used my laser measuring system to make sure they're perfect. And then I went over to my CNC machine and cut some other pieces. So I'm not going to show you that because that's boring. So now we're going to do some really precise measuring. I'll check it with my laser after. I'm going to go with a little extra there sticking out the ends. So we'll say about 45. So you're probably not going to get this kind of precision fabrication on just any YouTube channel. Feed that one through there. Oh man, I gotta go to the other side of the car. So I'm tightening these down a bit and see where, because this is coming to a curve here, I think we need to put just a slight little bend in that pipe. So I'm going to go dig out the pipe bender and we'll see if we can just adjust that a hair. All right, more quality fabrication work. So it doesn't need much, I just want to put just a slight tweak in it. I'm gonna say that's perfect. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if this is gonna work. Oh man, that was like bang on. So now you can see we're fitting perfect in there. We just have a bit of a bend on the pipe. Huh. Imagine that. Nailed it first try. Well, there's our first one mounted, and she is pretty darn solid. So let's move on to the other one. All right, so those are sturdy as can be. And they look fantastic. So this setup came with two of the clamp down things. So let's give those a shot, and then I'll come up with something else. I'm thinking maybe just some muffler clamps or something along those lines. Oh yeah. Alright, so I didn't have clamps for the back, so let's see what we can find in the junk drawer. Oh, actually, look at that, there's one right there. I knew I had one brand new one. And I know I've got some used ones in my other bin. Let's just see if this will work. My junk bin. Let's see if I have some more of those, which I'm sure I do. Oh, well, look at that. So I keep junk. Junk is good. All right, well, I'm gonna put these on, and we'll move on to the next thing. All right, so there we go. So a couple of muffler clamps that I had. She is super sturdy. Ugly but functional. So that's one more little project out of the way. Of course, the event's not for like 3 weeks, so am I going to drive around with that on the roof for 3 weeks? Yeah, probably. So that brings us to the next thing. Drag slicks, or in this case, some old stock car tires. So in keeping with the some will call low buck, I'm going to call broke theme. These are a pair of old stock car tires. They're racing slicks. I do have to have slicks for the event. I don't need super sticky tires for this car. It hardly makes any horsepower, but I do need to have these for the tracks. So these are going to be just fine. I paid $10 for these tires. The wheels I had, I mounted them on my manual Princess Auto tire machine, which is just a ridiculous amount of work for something that would probably cost $20 to get done. But whatever, I had it here. It was just something to do. So before we throw these on the roof to try them out, I haven't actually bolted them to the car yet. So I think we need to try them on there, see how they look, make sure everything fits okay. And, you know, and just incidentally, like you can see the wear indicators in these tires, they actually do have lots of life left in them. So there's nothing wrong with them. They've been holding air for a couple of days now since I mounted them. This one still has a ton of rubber on it from whenever it was raced last, which was God knows when. So anyway, let's mount those on, see how they look. So these are, of course, going to require shank nuts because they're mag wheel. So, like this style with the washer. But that's all right because I've got a whole bunch of sets of these kicking around. Well, I think those look pretty cool. They're super low profile, which actually will work in my benefit when it comes to drag racing. It's going to drop the gear ratio down a bit. Man, I wish I could just drive around with those on. Yeah, not quite legal. Well, you know what we got to do now? Well, let's just go drive her down the road just for laughs. Well, gets it launched good enough to send the camera flying. Well, I am calling that a win. That is going to work out just fine. All kinds of room for a jack stands, a cooler. Obviously, I've still got a full trunk and a full back seat too. I wanted this mainly for the tires because those won't fit in the trunk of this car. Although I probably could have put one in the trunk, one in the back seat, but you know, my wife's going to be cruising with me. She doesn't need to be smelling stinky old tires in the car the whole trip. The car is stinky enough. So anyway, guys, I'm just going to call that a video. Like I said, didn't think I'd be making any more videos on this car before the event, but I thought this might be kind of fun to do and show you guys what was happening with it. Do a couple more burnouts. As always, if you like the video, push the old free subscribe button. It helps out my channel, which... whatever. Channel is what it is. I still have fun making videos. They don't get a hell of a lot of views, but whatever. Some of you guys like them. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.